to BP Talk.
Hi, I'm Annie, and I have two younger siblings.
Hi, I'm Miel, and I have one younger sibling.
Hi, I'm Vera, and I have two younger siblings.
Hi, I'm Chelsea and I have two younger siblings.
We're gonna talk about the main stuff that comes with being an older sibling. So obviously there's a lot of stigma around it and also the challenges because we're the only ones who don't go to therapy. We're the ones that conduct it. All right, let's start. Let's talk about the traditional expectations of being an older sibling. What are the things that, like, at what instances in your life do you get that kind of excuse from people?
But I think when it comes to like career paths or your
Oh, yeah.
academics,
Mm.
I think your family expects you to have a goal na in life. Even when ikaw pa sarili mo nagugulahan pa din. So, I think being the panganay, you have to be a role model to your siblings na, oh, ate gonna be like that. I should be like this also.
And the hard part is we don't have an older sibling
To look up
look
to.
up to, yeah.
So like they're expecting us to be role models, but we have no reference.
At all.
We have no, where are our role models?
Jumping off of what Chelsea said, yung I have to already know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, there's always an expectation that they think you figured it out now. Or like, have your parents ever told you na, oh, can you figure this out? Or like, what's the answer? And then,
Yeah, no, parang they don't. I haven't had an opportunity where I can show that I'm unaware of what I'm supposed to do in a situation. It's like automatically people expect na, kaya niya, ano yan eh. Kasi panganay siya. I'm just like, sure, I'll do it, but I'll try first. But yeah, I can't not show that I don't know what I'm doing. I can't
Yeah.
not show that I'm having a meltdown or that I can't not show that hindi ko kaya. Kasi like you said earlier, you set the example for your ACADS in your career, and you have younger people looking at you. And then I'm like, to the older parents, to the older aspect of, or basically the adults ahead of me, I see Annie, you can expect her to deliver. Kasi panganay yan.
I feel like also they not only do people expect that from us, but they also expect that we're not gonna complain.
Yo!
Oh my god.
Or they're gonna expect that
We're gonna
we
be
don't
fine.
show we don't show weakness. We're gonna be fine.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
So like when we start to like cry, have meltdowns, like what you said, like it's gonna shake the very foundation of like where you are community. Because yung pagiging panganay, it carries over also to school life. You're always the group leader.
Oh my god.
Exactly. You're the one that's not scared to raise your hand first.
Why is that a normal thing?
I think we're doomed for some reason. Like, you know, being the eldest.
For me, I come from a family of accountants. And that was basically what was expected of me. I was supposed to take what career they took because I would pave my way for my siblings.
Oh.
And even the double degree, I wasn't even supposed to take a double degree. And then my dad was like, okay.
Panganay things, hashtag kaya mo yan.
The next thing we want to talk about are like early life struggles. Growing up, what was it like being a panganay?
Ramdam ko
In a
na
Filipino household.
ako yung pinapag-experiment.
Yeah.
Because
Like
you're the
most
first kid.
We're guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs, that's
Guinea
the term.
pigs.
Ramdam ko talaga. I went to like 3 different schools in grade school. I left my original school at grade 1. Then I was in an all-girls school, 2 to 4. And then 5 to 6, I went to a progressive school. Because, you know, they were trying to figure out
Which school is the best?
Kasi nga, there were certain aspects. So I came from a traditional and then an all-girls private traditional. Then they brought me to a progressive. So talaga naramdaman ko yung
Trying everything out.
right. And then the effect of not having one solid place from your grade school, entering puberty. So when all of these social pressures started coming in as a adolescent, they didn't know what to do, how to handle it.
Yeah.
Kasi it was like all coming in from all sides. Wala man lang preno or break slipping one by one. Sabay-sabay. Social pressure. Suddenly, I want skinny jeans even though I don't want it. I was saying, Mom, Dad, how come I have to do this and that and others can get away with it? And then they didn't know what to say. So parang ako, is this the part where I'm supposed to figure things out on my own? And then they didn't want to say that. But then at the same time, they also don't know. So that was
You know what a lot of parents forget about their panganays? Is that everything that is the first time for us is also the first time for them.
That's so true.
So I think one thing that we can't fault the parents for, they're as scared as we are.
True.
Never had
them.
it before, right? So I guess I learned that when I was a little older. But when I was younger, I was they were very careful about like, be careful, Miel. You transferred to different schools. I was in a new summer class every summer. They're trying to help me find my hobbies. Kasi yung parents ko naman, right? It's
So-
very, like, you've tried ballet already, you've had
Ballet
cooking
swim.
class,
Oh
art.
my gosh.
May
Taekwondo.
Yeah, there's piano. I had voice lessons also. Kumon.
Dancing.
Diyos ko, Lord. Tama, I agree na experimenting. They were a little, I noticed kasi that down the line, when they had my sister, they were a little more chill. Pero with me, konting galaw, where's me? Where's Miel? So the paranoia follows you until you're older, and then they realize the older one will figure it out.
My siblings got away with a lot of things that I was scolded for.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
I think
Like
your
even
parents
going.
realize after when you're younger, when you're not young, it's not so bad pala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, let them play.
I have that experience also kasi parang like yung mga ginagawa ng siblings ko ngayon, I couldn't get away with that before. Parang, wow, pwede na pala yun. Pwede
Yeah.
na pala gawin yun. You know?
Actually, I have another panganay story, but it's not mine because my grandmother is the eldest of 10 siblings. So, born 1926, during the war, ganun, etc. So, she was like 18 or 19 when they were bombing already here, like the Japanese occupation and something. And she told me that she was the only one who wasn't allowed to go to college because she has to take care of the hacienda and the books and take care of the aging parents, which is another thing that I wanted to jump to, that stereotype that we are the satellite parents. So if the parents are not there, we take care of the other kids, or if the parents are sick, we take care of the parents. So it's like expected that our parents will land with us. And not that I'm complaining, I would be more than happy to take care of my parents, but also in the landscape that we're currently in, there's that expectation that we will pick up after everyone in the household. So have you guys been able to experience that?
Actually, that reminds me. There's this saying na parents sometimes would get children just so that they would have someone to take care of them in the future.
Yep.
I don't think that's supposed to be the reason why you're getting kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. It's kind of painful though.
I mean, having kids is one of the most selfless acts you can have. You cannot expect to raise a kid to fulfill what it is you were not able to fulfill before you had them. Like to live out your. I've known a lot of parents who live vicariously through their children. I'm just very lucky that my parents were supportive in that sense. They were actually, it's opposite from yours, how like they decided on your
Yeah.
course.
From the start.
My parents are creative, so I told them I'm gonna take theater, and they're like, "You're going to college." 'Cause I was doing so bad in school,
Oh,
so they were just happy that she's going to college. Like,
she's going to
whatever she
study.
takes, it's fine. So I'm like, I'm gonna take theater. Great. She's going to college. So, yun, I wanted to know, Sana, from you guys that role of a caretaker, because I like that you mentioned that earlier, that one of the toxic family Filipino traits is that people expect the kids to take care of them. How have you guys been able to set boundaries in terms of taking care of people? Because you have to take care of yourself first, right?
I think it's
Diba?
been hard to set boundaries. Parang nakakalimutan mo yung sarili mo. Ang role ko sa bahay pag holidays, I cook. My mom, she's a doctor, so really doesn't know how to cook. My dad's a businessman and engineer, so parang he doesn't know how to cook then. And yun, parang I took it as a hobby. Tapos parang tuwing holidays, yung responsibility of cooking for the family na punta na sa akin. Sometimes, they're all eating na and then I'm still in the kitchen cooking. So parang, yun nga, minsan ang hirap i-set yung boundary na, oh, you have to eat then, or you're still cooking for them kasi may dessert pa, or ganon.
Pero ang cute mo, you stepped up to what they were lacking.
Yeah, because parang ang daming nagsasabi na ibang parents, oh, your parents are not at home. Pero for me, I think it gave me a sense of independence then. Like, yun nga, di ba, parang I take care of my siblings and na-enjoy ko naman siya. I don't see it as a burden. Like, parang I see it as my love language to them. Like, I show my care. Because for me, I'm not affectionate. Are you guys affectionate as well?
No, don't touch me.
My younger sister, she's like, ate, I want hugs.
Yeah.
Sabi ko, wait lang.
I'll give you cookies.
Please na lang. I'll cook for you na lang.
In my case, they never really expected me to do chores because I guess my role was to do well in school. And I was naman. But at sometimes that the pressure gets too much. Like,
yeah.
I have to have this certain type of grade or they would be very disappointed at me. But at the same time, whenever they're not around, I have to take care of my siblings. So which am I supposed to prioritize? Because you want me to do both.
Yeah.
Even when I got the courage to like tell them, but like, mommy, I'm doing something and it's really important because it's due na. And they're gonna be like, why didn't you just do it earlier? I manage my time well, pero sometimes kasi like the workload is just too much. And I don't really have time for myself.
Are you able to find like just a little bit of breathing moments for you?
Yeah. Like lately, since right now I'm only taking a few units. Even though the workload is like pretty heavy, I can say naman na I have a few hours to myself, pero only at night. So I would wake up so early to go to school, then go home to do my assignments, and then the only peaceful time I would have is when they're all asleep.
Yeah.
Really?
I get
I want to jump off of yung it started off from as a hobby and it became your love language and how you express your siblings. I have something similar now. I also don't physically express gratitude. I just be like, galing mo.
Words of affirmation.
Even though it's my lowest. Kasi my mom doesn't give words of affirmation. And then my dad, love language and physical touch. So parang ako, "Oh, sige na lang. And then my siblings naman, though all 2 years, 3 years na yung age gap. So we're all in like our mid-20s, right? I really see them having a hard time and they really need a hug. And all I can do is put my hand on their shoulder. Let's go. That must be
Oh my
tough.
god. I relate to that.
Sorrows, prayers.
Prayers. Do you want to talk about it? Yun na lang, doon ako bumabawi.
Yeah.
Na I give my time. Quality time kasi is my love language.
Yeah.
And acts of service. Ay, as a panganay, acts of service. So, when they're having a hard time, even my parents, oh my gosh, nagulat ako na pag nahihirapan sila, let's go, you want to talk about it? And be like, no. And then, ang dami nila sinasabi ng mga maliliit. Let's go, do you really not want to talk about it? So, I don't know, do you guys have that thing too na you're naturally able to be there for your family members when they're having a hard time?
As a Virgo, no. As a Virgo, my natural response is deal with it.
Oh.
Figure it out. Like, not naturally but that's only something that popped up, I think, in recent years when I started to feel the weight of being the eldest.
Mm.
Because originally, like, I didn't feel the weight of being the eldest when I was younger. Because I was still young. But, the moment you hit, like, adulthood, my grandmother gave me this long talk. Because she's the eldest, right? Just long talk. You know what it's like to be the eldest daughter in a Filipino family with Spanish values. And I'm like, oh God, you're this. And then she's saying, yes, it's expected of you. You have to be understanding of your mother, of your father, of your sister, of me, of your dog, of your yaya.
Oh, you're
Everyone.
Everyone.
So, you want me to run for Kagawad. I get it. Okay. So, yeah, it's very, they assume leadership right away.
True.
But no one checks in on us.
I have a situation like you ask your siblings to do something. Like, mag-utos ka. Pag di nila magawa, ako na. Sige, ako na.
right.
Right.
Nagawa.
Even in group works,
Yeah.
whenever
Yung lahat,
like
it's yours.
yeah, like I would ask them. I would specifically like write down the specific tasks that they need to do. Pero if they do it wrong, I'm gonna tell them, right? Pero they would do it wrong again. Ako na lang. Okay, fine. I'll do it na lang. I would end up doing most of the work, but they would still get credit.
Oh, God.
Because apparently it's my fault na I didn't kick them out early on.
Oh, my God.
Hindi sa'yo yung i-encourage mo sila eh. You'll just kick them out early on.
Is it safe to say that the elder siblings have trust issues?
Yeah.
Here?
I guess, yeah.
I don't think it's like a personality trait or anything. I think it's just the fact that, we didn't really have a choice of like where we are among our siblings. It's just, when you were born, there's someone younger, automatic response is, you take care of your younger sibling, like baby pa sila, take care of your younger sibling. Where have you really like heard parents talking to the younger sibling? Take care for ate or kuya. It's
Checking on her.
Yeah. Uwi na ako. Dito na po yung trauma bonding segment of our show. We are the eldest siblings. That's not something that's gonna change.
Right.
So, as the panganay of the panganays, But yeah, like now that we're transitioning into an independent life, like you said, we gained a lot of skills that gave us independence. As we're transitioning into that, what are the things that you're more aware of, or like you're doing more of to make sure that we have full agency over our lives? I'm not saying that we're trying to cut out our families.
Mm.
But now we have to lean more into our self care. We have to lean more into ourselves. What are some things, what are some measures that you are taking to kind of take full accountability for this is my life now? I'm not only a caretaker, I am more than a panganay. Like, what are the things that you feel like you're doing?
I rely a lot on my friends. Like whenever I have problems, I usually run to them first.
Yeah.
Like, aren't you supposed to run to your parents first whenever you're having troubles, right? But no, I run to my friends about my parent troubles. So
Awkward din kasi, no? You run to your parents for your own.
yeah. Yeah, opening up an issue to your parents is so hard because I feel like they'll just judge me. It always turns into a lecture, so I don't really open up to them that much. My parents are really strict. At first, they didn't really let me go out without my yaya. Like, whenever I would hang out with my friends, she's always in the background. Or, like, I would have the driver outside. And when I started going out on my own, I would just grab, At first, they were very hesitant to let me kasi, I don't know, they just didn't really trust me. Not like I gave them any reason not to. As time went by, they realized naman na I can be trusted, like, on my own. And I never really did anything that broke their trust. Whenever I got a break, I would, like, tell them, oh, I'm sleeping over at my friend's place. And they'd be like, at first, like, why do you need to do that? Like, you can just stay at home. But I'd be like, I just need my friend's time.
Because they're also first-time parents with you, even though you already have siblings. To some extent, we're also parenting our parents. So not only are we parenting our siblings, we're parenting our parents. Because we're like, you don't have to be so paranoid anymore. Like, I have the life skills. You guys are okay. You did fine with me. I figured it out. What do you call this? I got nudged in the right direction. The amount of trust that you've given me allowed me to learn things for myself. So I think to some extent, our parents are also really hard on themselves.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they probably, I think they're strictest with us because they probably feel like they messed up. I feel like because they were grappling in the dark when they were taking care of us. No idea what they were doing. And then naturally, it kind of just transferred. They're like, hey, we have no idea what we're doing, so you should know what you're doing already because you're not. Hindi na ma-admit na they don't. That they're also confused and they're scared. So I think when I got older, I started to understand na parang I can't really fault them for anything.
True.
And it's not their fault because they were parents. They were figuring it out. And I think, with my sister, they've kind of gotten it. They were able to figure out that make timpla. But then with me, originally, they're like, we should just try this on. Let's see if this works. Let's see
Going
if this
in
does.
blind.
Going in blind. And I can imagine also how scary it must have been to be a parent. So I understand to some extent why they don't want to seem unsure around us. So that's why they didn't guide us as much as we probably expected or wanted. Like when we're older, we realized, diba? Sometimes we'd hold resentment. Why didn't they teach me this? Why didn't they teach me that? Probably they don't want to show signs of weakness because that's gonna let you lose trust in them. Diba? So I like that you mentioned that na parang how come they're not trusting me and stuff like that and why they're not figuring it out. I think they're still living with that kind of paranoia na
I think
I'm not
something's
sure
gonna
if I'm-
happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they don't know what
You're-
to say.
At the end
Yeah.
of the day, we're still their first baby.
Yeah.
So they're still scared. I get it. When I was in grade 5,
Especially growing
nowhere
up.
without my yaya.
Yeah, especially growing up kasi parang you're the first one to go to college, you're the first one to live on your own. Especially for me, I actually came from the province. So I'm from Bulacan, and then my mom was so scared to leave me alone. Like, living alone as a 17-year-old. Alone in the city. So, parang, every night na nagpe-pray siya na, sana okay lang. Kasi, it's hard din parang for parents to see their first child
Oh,
growing up.
yeah.
Especially my dad. I think, parang to him, I'm still a little kid. So, it's hard for him to see na I'm doing things on my own.
Yeah, and I feel like also, since we have other siblings, once they be like, okay, so this is how it's like to raise, to to raise extra kids or like more kids and stuff like that, when they feel like they've had it figured out, sometimes I get this feeling na parang my parents go back to talk to me as if I was a kid again. Because I think they might have lost some of the time trying to be a parent. Like they're focusing so hard on being a parent that they lost that opportunity to be
Connect.
with the kid that they had, you know? So my parents are so playful with me until now. Like we talk, my dad still calls me baby. My mom still makes baby talk. I'm like, Mom, I'm 32. And she's like, oh, look at my baby. She calls me Pimple. And then I'm like, why Pimple? Why is that a nickname? Like, where are you getting that? But if it's endearing to her, okay. You know my mom, right?
Right.
And she still baby talks me in front of the parents, in front of the faculty. And in school, I'm like 32. If to remind her, Mom, I'm 32. Like to drop my voice.
Mom.
And then she's like, you're still my baby. And I'm like, so, I think that's what one benefit of being a panganay is we're kind of forced to be empathetic.
Mm.
Because you can't really explain why you were a kid and you had so much responsibility the moment you had a sibling. How your sibling also kind of became your kid at some point because you had to take care of them. But also that empathy na parang, where is this responsibility coming from? Also, like in Asian households, no? Like imagine that all that the trauma, the intergenerational trauma, when your parents have unresolved and your grandparents, they have these unresolved trauma, it travels down until
Yeah.
you're ready to face it. And it normally lands first with the panganays.
My mom is a panganay.
Also,
And my dad is a panganay. So there's 3 panganays in the house. And then they're entering, what's that stage, yung 50? Menopause yung mom. And then my dad is at whatever version of that is. At the same time. The pandemic, it just so my
Ring of
way or
fire.
the highway for the two of them.
yeah.
Nagpapanganay standoff. And I'm just like, manay din ako. Should I be doing something here?
You joined the fight, actually. Ring of fire.
Siya yung
I'm so my siblings
Sure.
and I go, so who do you bet? What? You start talking. No, but buti na lang, I have to be very thankful for my cats because I found kasi like kuting, they just showed up in our garage during the pandemic. I brought them in, no choice. You guys get to have your way the highway. I get to bring in these kittens. We have kittens, we can calm the F down. And it happened. Kumalma sila lahat nung dumating na yung mga super small babies because they have a new baby. So then, I realized that since I have panganay magulang, as a panganay, I also have to panganay them.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna be like, the in-between for all, like what you said, empathic, understanding. I don't think anybody else in the family setup gets to understand people better than us. We get to read quicker. We get to sense if someone's like not feeling great or if an environment is lacking
Oh my
something.
god, that's so true.
It's so quick. And then who else is gonna do anything? We can't expect others to see that because we're the first one to see it, right?
Initiate everything.
Yeah.
Right, right.
And I've like developed a skill where I can tell like my parents' emotion the moment I walk in the room. So I would like, walk in the room and I can tell, she's upset right now. I wouldn't want to test her.
Right. And then if you have a sibling that's gonna say something that
Yeah, no, don't.
tingnan mo, nobody's gonna do that. Kasi we see
Maya na.
Oh, right? Uy, mamaya ka na kasi medyo
She's busy.
Right. Parang, I guess, those are one of those unsaid silver lining aspects of being a pangan. In whatever environment, and I guess that's maybe why we're natural leaders. Because I don't think if you put someone that isn't a panganay in that role of leadership, they wouldn't have that kind of sensitivity with the people around them na you can't just say stuff that time. Or you'd be like, di pa siya nakakatulog, maybe later na lang yung bad news. Yung mga ganun.
Panghanays are really good at reading groups.
Yeah.
We didn't have a choice.
Sabi ko,
We were walking
A
on
forced
eggshells
skill.
for children because you'd be the first kid among all these grown-ups. You're kind of already sensing, okay, this is the environment I'm in. This is how I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to act like a grown-up. There's no one else younger than you. And then a kid comes along and you're just like, what's happening? Is this my child? Like, right? Because you're basically raised by adults. You're not around other kids. So like, if you are not being socialized with other kids regularly, daily, you're gonna start to adapt the way adults are behaving. So you're gonna start to understand what it's like to read a room. You're growing up faster than you're supposed to. And so when you had a younger sibling come along, you're like, is this my child? Or you didn't know how to react. So your natural instinct was, I need to help take care of of these other children. In a sense, it's kind of a privilege.
Mm.
So you put us in the workforce immediately, first ones
Things
to
are-
understand how dynamic works in groups. Leadership roles, not afraid. Something needs to be done, take initiative right away.
You mentioned earlier na when you, for your own me time, you go with your friends because you probably don't feel like a panganay.
Yeah.
You guys
I
like,
Yeah.
like to be around friends who are a little older than me. It's like I look for people who are older than me. I have a lot of friends who are much younger than I am, but it's because okay, Annie. Okay. Annie's like my little sister. It doesn't count. I'm panganay again when I'm with you. So, but yeah, I look for a place where I can channel my bunso energy. So every time I joined like orgs when I was 15 years old, I would join dance communities and such, and everyone was in their 20s. And I would be like, I like to be around older people. I like being the youngest because that meant you could let go of not being the one checking the door every 5 minutes or like making sure there's no one coming.
It's healing your inner child.
It is.
yes, yes.
Our inner child is probably the most neglected.
And most tired.
Tired. inner,
Napagod na siya.
inner child became inner right away. The moment you didn't even finish your own childhood, naging inner child na. Because you had to be a grown-up right away.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Like, it became my whole personality trait, my whole career.
It's a way escape mo siya.
I can look up to her, but who is she gonna look up to?
Sanay sila that the panganays know everything.